Sitting here with Adam Iniquity tonight. You want to let your fans in on what you're working on tonight?
I'm working on an acrylic painting for one of my commission-based pieces for a fan of mine. It's one of the watchers from Mask and Home. It's acrylic on 11 by 15 pre-stretched canvas.
Now, do you have much experience with painting?
Not really, not at all, actually. I don't have much experience with art. I kind of suck at it. But honestly, no. I've only recently started teaching myself to paint, and it's turned out all right. I think it's turned out all right.
You've got a lot of fans out there that really appreciate what you're doing. Got a lot of followers getting on your new YouTube page.
I appreciate each one of them as much as they appreciate me. I mean, everything I do is for them, so.
Is there any real motivation behind this painting you're doing here? I know it started out as a little concept design.
It started out as a concept design, yeah. I'm trying to reproduce it as best as I can. The problem with me doing concepts sometimes is I set an expectation of what the piece is supposed to be. It's just way easier. My main medium is Photoshop, so it's difficult. I just paint by hand. Oh well. But, you know, I don't know. Completely lost track of thought.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not the only artist that is upset with his work from time to time, doesn't feel like you've reached your true potential in your piece.
I'm never satisfied with myself. I'm my biggest critic. That's because I don't do my stuff for myself. I do it for other people, and I expect people to have their own expectations of what I do. You know? I don't want to give them trash, because life gives them enough of that.
Now, you want to touch base a little bit on the design of the machine, the business that you're starting?
Design of the machine is basically everything that I am. It's the company that does my art, does my music, does my writing. And you know, sooner or later I'll be contracting other artists who feel like-minded. And if they want to collaborate with me, it'll be through that. Basically, it's just everything I have. It's my brainchild, I guess.
Now, do you think it's going to be hard to let somebody into that business, into your ideas? Do you think anybody's going to fit the script, so to say?
You know, it's always hard to question business partners and stuff like that, but you know, with my mentality, what I'm doing and stuff like that, I really have to find like-minded individuals to be. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to feel about that, you know, because I haven't gotten there yet, and I mostly have a distaste for what I do, not what I do, but who I am, and I think that I would dislike anybody similar to me. So it's going to be a question. I don't know. But I don't even know if anybody would want to work with me, so I don't really care. I just figured it'd be an avenue for a lot of solo artists. Like I've been in my past, it's hard to get your name out there when you don't have nothing, or have anything, you know. Rise from something. I came from nothing myself, so.
Now, we all got a pretty generic definition of artist. How do you consider yourself an artist? What does that mean to you?
I like to think of art as anything, you know, that stimulates the senses. Anything that can go on a arrangement of different it reaches a different plane of understanding. I think of art as like, I'm an artist by doing painting, by music, writing, all that stuff. I think any of that fits the definition. It's not just somebody who can draw pretty pictures here and there. Shit, if that were the case, most of my stuff would be trash. But I don't know. If anybody can connect with anything that I do in a way that most people wouldn't see, that's good for me. That's art. Exploiting what life, tends to ignore.
Alright, so you briefly touched base on this being basically a commissioned art piece. I know a lot of people have questioned you regarding the ability to get commissioned work done by you. What are the stipulations you have with that?
Well, I kind of have to relate to what they want. I just don't do art off the hell of it, for the hell of it. And sometimes I do, depending on who it is, who's asking me to do it, what they want, if it's difficult. But usually I take on pieces that I feel a connection with. Like this piece, for example, was a piece I worked with in the past. I spoke with Michael W. Ford about his books and stuff like that when I was learning about his practice and stuff, the Goetia. But mostly, if you want anything done by me, contact me on Facebook. I think I left my phone number on Facebook as well, so you can contact me via text message, email, and even YouTube. And I'll look over the proposition. I'll tell you what it would cost for me to do it. Like I said, that changes too. That varies. Such as two pieces of art are the same in their prices. It depends if I connect with it or not.
Speaking of Michael W. Ford, he's the writer.
The writer? Yeah, the writer that I do a lot of my commissions for.
He's he's the main writer for Succubus Productions. And
Succubus Productions, they're a good company. They've backed me on everything I've done. And Michael's a good guy. I like his work. So I've told him if he ever needs anything from me in the future to let me know.
Have you done any work for Michael W. Ford and Succubus Productions since the Goetia of Shadows?
Yeah, I did some few images that were featured in his most recent book, the Dragon of the Two Flames.
And is that available to the public yet?
Yeah, it was released not too long ago. It should be available on all sorts of media. But I didn't do all the illustrations there. I only did a few that really inspired me. Most of the artwork was done by a few other artists. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more in the future. It's just I've been so busy getting into my own stuff this past year. I've got a few books that are looking to be published and finished up here shortly. Poetry books, novels, graphic novels. And whether that stuff will sink or swim, that's a different story. But they're near completion. And I'm open to new contracts too. If anybody has any propositions, just let me know. I'm willing to consider anything.
I'll tell you one thing I'm real excited about coming out from you. The Meat Locker. The
Meat Locker, yeah.
Want to go into that at all?
Meat Locker's concept I came up with last year. full title is Meat Locker, Spirits Aside is Genocide. It's based off a concept like, I don't know, I saw zombies were a big thing coming up, especially last year. It seems like they really exploded. Even the Center for Disease Control put out a warning last year about things to do in case of a zombie apocalypse, and I thought that was interesting. I was thinking, like, you know, people we're hunters, we're killers, you know, we have the killer instinct. What would happen if we lost our sense of self-awareness? We'd revert back into some type of animal, hunting animal. So that's kind of where it stemmed from. What would happen if we didn't have our spirits, our self-awareness, our conscience, whatever? We become nothing more than animals. That's kind of what it is. It's a zombie-esque, I guess, but it's going to be a compilation of short stories, all piecing together to create a larger whole. And each story is going to be, I think, 3 to 4 pages long, accompanied with an illustration and a quote. And I don't know, it's going to be fun. It's been fun putting the pictures together. Writing's still in the works. Started out as a collaboration between me and another writer, but since then he's gone into the service, and it's been up to me to solo edit everything. With his permission, I'm going to re-edit his stuff that he's done. Speak to him as soon as I'm able to. So that's why it's kind of been in the background.
So it sounds like you got a lot going on career-wise right now. How do you find time for yourself? How do you find you time?
I don't really, but I don't really value myself anything other than what I'm trying. My goal, my views, you know, everything. I'm an idea, and I value that more than anything else. All I do in my spare time is art. If I'm not painting, I'm doing music for Psychonaut 75. If I'm not doing music or painting, I'm writing for whatever media or whatever books that I'm working for. That's all I really do is art. In my own time, it's sad to say, I really don't have much. It's like for a real lonely life, but that's how I prefer it sometimes. People let you down. I don't let myself down often.
Not saying you basically have no time for yourself. All of your time is spent engaged in some sort of project, work-related. Do you ever feel overwhelmed with the volume of work you got yourself buried into right now?
Deadlines, yeah, I get overwhelmed by deadlines. But I mean, I think everybody does at a point. You have to just step back and look at it and see what's on your plate, whether it's too much. I tend to not look at that so much. I just take whatever I feel inspired by, and it all works its way out, I think. It's really hard to keep a personal life, home life, and all that stuff. But I am what I am, I guess. And I'll find people who understand that to be people I hang out with. But mostly it's just me. Overwhelmed. So you only get overwhelmed if you let yourself overwhelm. You have to take everything into moderation. It's just harder to do sometimes.
What interests me, I know you're a busy man, you got a lot going on, and just recently you've taken up the painting. What gave you the inspiration for this? What made you decide to start doing this?
Well, I wanted something that people could, have in their house, It's easy to look at a piece of digital media and like it or whatever, but you can only do so much with that. reproduced prints and stuff like that, they don't hold value as much as painting. I'd like to eventually start marketing and selling my pencil sketches. I like drawing, I like drawing a lot. A lot more than, well, not a lot more than painting. I like painting as well, but I don't know, it's just easier, it's more versatile. But I got into painting because some stuff is just, can't make look real. Photoshop can only do so much.
You say you're quite fond of sketching. I'm interested on how you intend to market that.
I don't know. Like, one of my projects that I have going on is a poetry, well, kind of a poetry book, but it's kind of reads like a journal. It's called The Ghost in the Machine, and it's a compilation of my short stories, not short stories, my writing, ideas, poetry, and within it I've drawn pictures, pencil sketches, and I'm going to be putting that out sooner than the Meat Locker, actually. It's near completion. That's going to be part for, it's a project that I've done based off the depth of emotion, and making it apparent to everybody that we all have the same depth of emotion. Everybody feels the same thing. They just express it differently. And the proceeds of this, I'm going to donate 20% of every sale to a company called Collage. It's Art for Cancer Network. And I feel that, when facing a terminal illness such as cancer, people tend to get down and unmotivated and overwhelmed, and I feel like they should never lose hope. And that's why the proceeds are going to go to that. They do great things for what they do, and teach people to never give up, because they have a harder life than most to lead, but it's still the one that they're given, and to make something of that. And that's what that's going for. But the pictures in it are all mostly graphite. Some are marker, pen, whatever I have at the time. But that's pretty much my life in a nutshell for the past year, is doing that book. And it's going to be cool, I guess. I'm also going to auction off the original copy too, and 100% of those proceeds are going to the Cancer Network, or Collage too.
You said 100%?
Yeah. Whatever it sells for, it's all going to go to that. Because I don't, like I said, I don't value myself. I want to see other people get more out of my work than I have. That means that I'm doing something right. At the end of the day, I can see more people liking my stuff than I like myself.
Well, I know this isn't why you're doing that, but that is very noble of you, and I'm sure it's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to donate it not in my name, but in the name of Luciferian witchcraft, because I feel like they get a lot of bad, not them per se, but any of the left-hand path spiritualities and ideologies. They all get bad media because they think we're all like devil worshipping, sacrifice at the fucking altar kind of people, but it's not true. We actually do greater for a lot of society than they think.
Now, if anybody picked up the Goetia of Shadows and read the foreword in it. That was written by you, correct?
Yeah, that's my my view on religion. Not religion as much as Luciferianism, and my views on magic. It's really, it's what I view things. I started out as a scientist and a skeptic, and what I've turned into is a scientist and a skeptic who has a better understanding of myself and magic. And I learned a lot from working with Michael W. Ford that year, and that's why I was honored when he asked me to write. A lot of what I wrote in there actually is can be seen in this past month's issue of Chaos Sphere magazine. I did a couple pictures for that, and I did a six-page article, basically covering the same thing, my scientific approach to magic. I like debating, not debating as much as I like listening to people's ideas. I like to share mine. And left-hand path people tend to have a very open mind. And in comparison to other religious groups, such as Christians, are quick to judge and not to back up. That might offend some people, but who gives a fuck?
You want to explain to your fans right now any technique you're using right now?
I don't really have much technique when it comes to painting. I just go off what I feel, how I feel. Like I said, I never learned anything about art. I always felt like art comes from inside, and that you can learn techniques, I guess, but the application is based off you. I've seen people do art, and I've seen people produce good things. I've seen them produce bad things. I mean, you learn how to live through your own experiences now there. So I couldn't tell you the techniques that I'm using. I wouldn't expect them to be beneficial to you at all, but I'm basically painting with my soul, I guess. That's why a lot of my paintings are dark.
Now, I know one of the first paintings you did was Bale from the Goetia of Shadows. I hear that's still available, that's still on the market.
It is on the market. I don't know if people... I think I posted it on Facebook a few times. It's going as a silent auction, basically. If you're interested, just give me an offer, and it's going to be up for a month or so before I take it down. And at the end of, whenever I think it's reached its peak, I'll let everybody who's bid know. And it'll all be through messaging or texting or phone calls or whatnot.
And you don't have a problem with your fans calling you or texting you?
Not at all. Like I said, I'm always by myself mostly. I prefer to be in contact with people. Fans of mine, they're inspiring. They're why I do everything that I do. I mean, I won't just go out and put my address on the internet or whatever for people to show up randomly, because I've had that happen, but really I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of people calling me or whatever. I might be sometimes I might be out of my proper state of mind when you catch me off guard, but I'll always answer. Because sometimes people ignore people, and they ignore feelings, they ignore pleas, they ignore, I'm tired of being ignored, and I hope that other people feel the same. I was a rape crisis counselor for a while, so I'm used to waking up, answering phone calls, and going out to distress. I'm not shouldn't be afraid of answering a phone call about somebody who's interested in my art. You know, it's the least distressful thing I can think of, is somebody saying they're inspired.
Well, speaking of inspiration, it's obvious what truly inspires you are your fans, their desire to see what you're capable of. Is there anything else that keeps you motivated, that keeps you inspired, that keeps driving this train forward?
Well, darkness, light, coexistence. And as long as people keep being cruel to each other and not realizing it, that's how long I'm going to be doing art for. I want to exploit. I mean, like I said before in previous videos, I don't like people taking the world for granted. And I think that's always going to happen. It's always going to be the case. People are going to take things for granted because they think it's trivial. Really, nothing's trivial in the world. Everything has its meaning. Every person, no matter how small, how large, they all have their meaning. And I'm pretty much here to exploit the fact that there's no such thing as duality. I'm an agent of chaos, I think. I work with destruction and create from destruction. That's how the world works. One man's gain is another man's folly, and so on. I'm just a people person, I guess. It's my psychologist to me. I like watching people. And sometimes people don't notice the things they do. They don't notice the beauty in dark. They don't notice the darkness and light.
So basically, without darkness, there is no Adam Iniquity.
Not as he is now, no.
So good thing for you, this world will always have darkness.
So long as there is light, I guess. I'll always exist. Iniquity will always exist, I guess. As long as man is a warring person, we'll always have hatred. It's sad that we have to realize that, or come to terms with that, but the truth is often cold. That's all I really want to show is truth. But there is no real truth, I guess. It's kind of a contradiction, because I can't show people truth. This truth is subjective. There's only you and what you make of the truth. And I'm just showing everybody my view of the truth, and hopefully that there's some people out there that can associate with it, who wouldn't be able to express it any other way. Not everybody can be fluent in art, I guess. But for those who can, I offer my own products. I want everybody to read my writing or view my paintings or listen to my music as if they wrote it themselves.
So you want your fans to have a real personal connection to what you do.
That's how that's how things get respected, I could say that I did this and take a lot of claim in it, but who the hell cares what I feel? I want them to say that, that sounds like something I would do, something I would say, or something I would write, or that's how I view the world. Because, then I know this, that I'm making an impact on people, and people want to see more, I'll give them more. It's kind of what the world needs, is a voice. Or else we just sit in the back. Sit in the background and let the world not the world, but the majority take over.
I know this might be a little tricky for you to answer quickly, just based on the volume of work you've done in the past, but if you were to pick one project, one drawing, one sketch, one painting that you've enjoyed the most, that you've gotten the most out of personally? What do you think it might be?
That is a tough question. I enjoyed the work I did on the painting of Bale, actually. I've worked with him many times, reproduced him digitally. Originally a pencil sketch, went to painting, went to digital, and the fact that I've done it in so many different places, it really made a connection with him. And the painting was done on location, actually. It was different than my normal studio or whatever. It's actually done right here, Houston. Or Spring, Texas, rather than Houston. And it's filled with a lot of I had people watching me do it, because to them they had their own interpersonal experience just watching the art be done in real time. It could have been boring, dull as shit, especially the hours that I spent up late night by myself trying to finish it. But it was a time, and when you can say that there was a time or an experience to something that you do, and you can relate to something on more than one dimension, that's when it really is effective. I mean, most of the stuff I try to make without personal feelings, I mean, it is how I feel, and I can't separate my emotion from my art, but I try to make it as interpretable as possible so that other people can feel the same thing, the same way. I don't know, Bale was good. But I don't know if it would be my best. My most greatest connection. I've never really thought about that. But that's the first that comes to mind, I guess.
Now, your connection with Bale, you want to let us in on what he is, what he stands for, where he comes from? Kind of give us an idea of why you do have this connection with him.
Bale's a goetic demon. But not only goetic demon, he's also seen in Canaanite religion. He's seen across history as a bunch of different things. I don't really know why I personally have the connection with him, other than it's just where I felt appropriate. Some of the paintings that I did or pictures I've done for the Goetia, some of the demons I didn't connect with, Bale I connected with because it was a source of inspiration. I guess it was the first Photoshop image that I've ever done.
Now, it started out as a wood carving, is that correct?
Yeah, it was like a 19th century wood carving, I think. And that was the first real interpretation of him, I believe, that was in publication, but don't quote me on that.
And now that wood carving is where you got your rendition from?
Yeah, that's where the idea came from, that I spun off into what I portrayed as Bale and Goetia.
But you got any big plans for the future? Anywhere you want your career to go in particular? Or?
I'd really like to stem off with my writing, honestly. That's where my drive has always been to. But I don't want to give up art. Art is what got me where I am, with the contacts that I have, the people that appreciate my stuff. It's all been through art. But writing's always been my drive. I want people to read my stuff. I've always been a storyteller, I guess. I always said it'd be cool if I could just make a living off of being a vagabond. I used to make money or get drinks from the bar by telling short stories. And most of the shit I just made up. Kept people interested.
Now, is your writing mostly fiction or completely fiction?
Some is, some isn't. My main book that I've been working on for a while is called The Accounts of Tragedy, and it's fiction, but it's like a sci-fi interpretation of my life, if you view it, if you really got into knowing who I am. But nobody can really know my past, and I won't let it go. Not that I won't, but nobody's really asked about it. But yeah, I don't know, it was majorly influenced by Stephen King when I was younger, and Clive Barker, and I don't know. I've always said that my life reads like Raymond Chandler and Anne Rice, some dime store novel that you never pick up twice. And it's kind of true. I like mystery. And I like exploring stuff. I don't like fiction as much because fiction is the life we lead. Or non-fiction, I mean. I've never liked non-fiction because it's the life we lead, and most of the time that's just depressing. There's no hope for a happy ending. But I do write some non-fiction stuff too. I've got a lot of publications in magazines through the APA, not under this name, under a pen name. And I've had, I wanted to start, like a underground, like a look at the underground of the city, things that normal people wouldn't see, drug deals, that sort of thing. Because those things really don't get seen by people unless you're living the life. Or they get, some shitty, I think I know, but I don't kind of view from an author who's trying to put out some quick book. But I've been there, and I've seen everything.
Now you say you want to show the world, I guess, this taboo side that nobody wants to acknowledge its existence. How do you intend on showing the world that?
I'm kind of going to write like a, not an autobiography or anything, but it's going to be biography maybe. Friends of mine, or I might write something about my past, depends. I'm going to couple it with paintings, like a painting series, maybe. I haven't decided on that yet. That's the way in the future. Not way in the future, but enough to where it's out of my mind for now. I've got too much. I'm too out of my mind. This should have been done a long time ago. Completely scrapped this once. One design. Started all over because I didn't feel a connection with it.
So you've finished this painting once?
Yep, then I burned it.
Alright.
It was decent, and it just wasn't how I felt it should have been portrayed. I really don't like releasing anything until it's perfect. That's why I was never able to get a job at the carnival, being one of those artists.
The character artists?
Caricatures, that's it. Could never do that. I don't paint fast enough or draw fast enough. Plus, I don't like portraying people as something they're not. Cartoonish bullshit. I like details. Methods in the details. The devil's in the details.
Earlier, you briefly touched base on Psychonaut, the band.
Psychonaut 75, yeah. It's the industrial project of Michael Ford. I joined up with them in 2006. I believe it was 2006. During the release of the recording and release of the Infection EP, and done work with Michael since then on art or on music that hasn't really been released, and we're just starting to revamp that. I'm going to make some new releases to the public soon. Working on a new EP, mixing a bit of chamber noise with industrial with dubstep, and because I've always loved dubstep, and I've been in it since I followed it since 2006 or so, or 2002, I think, when I first started hearing it up in New York, and since then it's blown up, and I'm thankful for that, because underground shit shouldn't be ignored. It's harder though to get Michael on that. He's more traditional. But he's open-minded.
It's another artist that really enjoys what he does. Hard to change what he does, I guess.
It's not always a bad thing, though. You know, I'm glad that somebody is always stable. I'm not saying that I'm not, but I'm not saying that I am. I contradict myself too much to be stable, I think.
So we've touched base on the artsy side of Adam Iniquity. Don't really want to say side of Adam Iniquity because it is his entire existence. It's got the art going on, he's got the music going on, and the writing going on.
Jack of all trades, master of none. Factotum, I guess. I think that's what it's called.
Alright, Adam. Well, I think we're going to let you go here, let you get back to painting. I'm sure there's another deadline here you're trying to meet.
Oh yeah, a couple days from now. Not a procrastinator, just a perfectionist. Appreciate the chat.
Yeah, it was nice talking with you. Getting to know the inside thoughts of Adam Iniquity. It's always good talking with you. Even better learning from you.